Alrighty.
Oh, look at friends.
So it's our bi-weekly Team Rock Hard Bodies call. So we are going to go over the topics of Summit and kind of like the big takeaways, as well as I want to talk to you guys about Team Cup and the value of Team Cup and why you should be on a Team Cup. So for me, Summit was a lot of focus on who you are and being authentic and being yourself, and really just how to keep things simple with some easy strategy. So I want to show you guys, oh shoot, where's my screen share? A couple, I took a lot of pictures of slides that I want to show you and kind of just walk you through. Okay, so can everybody see this? We're okay. So the first thing I think is awesome to kind of talk about is the challenge group tracker. And for me, I think this is like, holy smokes, like this big revolution happened when they posted this up. They don't have, there's the FAQs right here at the bottom. So you guys, all these pictures are on Team Rock Hard Bodies too, if you guys have any questions. But it's like that final piece to the puzzle of the challenge groups for you to be able to track everything on your phone and be organized. And let me tell you, from somebody that's not organized, this is like a dream come true. And even though I'm not tech savvy, it seems super simple to figure out. So this is going to be coming like early fall. So as you could see, August for Elite and Premier 5-star. And I want to say it was like September-ish what they were talking about. So this was one of the cool things that they were talking about. Hey, you guys. So, hey, there's sneak peek of Tanya and I. Okay, I'm scrolling through pictures. So Team Cup, I'll get started with that in a minute. They shot through some statistics. I'm just kind of going through pictures as we're here to keep it simple. So another topic they talked about that I think is super important is your why and sharing that. You know, a lot of people wonder why you started coaching, or a lot of people get into like, you know, the value, and you get objections, and that is where your why comes in. And speaking from somebody that has never had like some big physical transformation, it really hit home when they said everybody has more than one transformation, whether it's from the 3-day refresh, whether it's from a 7-day clean eating group, whether it's from the 21-day fix, whether it's from P90X, whether it's just from Shakeology, whether it's just from a 30-day clean eating group, whether it's financial testimony. We all have a testimony in our back pocket, and it's all about sharing that. You should have some sort of 30-second kind of clip. I know Tara calls it an elevator speech or elevator pitch, of you're not word vomiting like all over them of why you're a coach. It's quick, it's easy, it's to the point, and it's inspiring. So talking about kind of not just spewing out the information, but sharing it in small pieces. So you're kind of breadcrumbing it is how they exactly described it, especially, here's the clip that I shared. So you're giving it in small doses. So what happens is it makes them want to know more. They want to learn more information. So it's all about just sharing little breadcrumbs. And, you know, in talking about how we all have at least one story, when you're talking to somebody, and say I'm talking to somebody that wants to lose a lot of weight, and I don't have that personal experience, but, you know, say I have a coach on my team that has had phenomenal success and a great weight loss journey, I can share that. So it's the power of sharing other journeys. It's the power of being relatable. It doesn't have to be your journey. I know for me, when I first started coaching, I was like, I don't have any financial story to share with you. But I could share my coach's story and her coach's story, and then have it be relatable. And so you can share other people's story. So part of that 30-second pitch, they talk about like, what's your subject? What are you gonna share? Is it a transformation? Is it financial? Is it, going off a medication? What is it? You have your subject line, and then there's a when, a what, and a how. And you keep it short and you keep it sweet and focused on those three things. So I would suggest, honestly, that you kind of write down that when, what, and how, and what your topics are of each of your stories, and then that way you practice them. Look at your phone and video it, or um, write it down and practice it looking in the mirror. So you perfect your story. So when people ask you why you're a Beachbody coach, or what's Beachbody done for you, or when somebody asks you about coaching, you have that in your back pocket, and it's short and sweet and really inspiring. You're not word vomiting. So they talked about practicing it, just like I was saying, filming it, and then sharing that with, like, if you do a video, share it with your coach or post it on Team Rock Hard Bodies. You talk about vulnerable, right? Like, that's a great place to get vulnerable and get feedback. You get feedback from everybody. If you're totally uncomfortable with it, then send it to your coach. The only bit on that for me personally, when I send a video, I never been able to send a minute-long video unless I upload it to YouTube. So maybe that's different for you in your phone, or maybe you can upload it in a Facebook message to your coach or your success partner. But share it with somebody and get feedback. Be open to that constructive criticism so you can perfect that 30-second pitch. Then, they talked about getting uncomfortable with it, sharing it on a team call, sharing it in social media, Super Saturday. So you could see, as we're kind of building, you're getting more uncomfortable. And the whole purpose is just to be vulnerable, and how that makes you a stronger person. And when you get more vulnerable, you're more relatable. I just had this experience. I made a post before we even left for Summit, and I had kind of shared a little snippet and said if I got 100 likes, then I would do a video of my story. Well, I got over 100 likes, and I was like, shoot, I need to do a video. And I didn't even know, even after going to Summit, I'm like, how do I do this? My video was 12 minutes long. It was not 30 seconds to a minute. In that situation, though, I felt like I needed to bring more personality in it, and I needed to share more of the, like, meat and potatoes, I guess you can call it, of the big picture for people. And do you know, even though it was 12 minutes long, I have received so many messages of people interested in coaching, or that were interested, that are ready now. They actually took the time to listen to it, and it was a spontaneous video that was just from the heart. So whether it's a transformation, whether it's financial, whatever it is, it's your story. Be proud of it, and practice sharing it. Like, don't listen to your videos before you post it. Post it. So then they talk about, the art of storytelling. Again, this slide is in Team Rock Hard Bodies, so you can look at these pictures or these slides. But just really getting vulnerable and being transparent, you're going to be incredibly relatable. Whether your financial journey is paying for your Shakeology and putting gas in your car, whether it's paying for your groceries each month, whether it's, I don't know, it's something small. Share every step of the way, and let people experience that with you. And when you go live with your audience, this picture is so true. Like, when you're making your post or when you're sharing your story out loud, make sure you're thinking about who you're talking to. So you're not talking to everybody on your Facebook. You're talking to your specific target market. Like, for me, it would be moms. It would be people into fitness. It would be crazy, spontaneous, on the go individuals. And those are the people I'm talking to. So it's okay that my video is random and just kind of out of sorts, because that's how I am. I'm not looking to or talking to a perfectionist, because I'm not. So not everybody is going to like it. Not everybody's going to listen, but the people that I'm targeting are going to be interested in it. So think about when you're doing your video, be intentional on who you're talking to, and that will also come out. So, it talks again more about what your story is and how to portray that message. And I guess this whole, if you go through these videos or these slides, they all kind of go through the depth and the detail of how to share your story. And that was a big takeaway for me personally. Discipline trumps talent. That's a whole new ball game. So, the other thing they talk about every single summit is the 3 vital behaviors. And you're going to get them on the front of everything because that's how this business is built. And I don't care if you've been in the business for one day or you've been in the business for 8 years. You still do the vital behaviors on a daily basis. If you stop doing personal development and you hit a struggle, you hit a bump in the road, right? Like seriously, it's like you hit that valley and you start sinking because you're not in that personal development. You guys, personal development is a huge game changer in our business. They all talked about that. They all talked about, like, a lot of them, that's the first thing that they do first thing in the morning. It's what gets their day started. And no matter if they want to work that day, they wake up and they're disciplined to do the work each day, whether they know how to do it or not. They figure it out. They fail forward. They trial and error. They're not afraid to mess up. They're open to failure because that's how we learn, right? Like, none of us have succeeded because we just got there overnight. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I failed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Like, I just word vomited all over my Facebook. But you know what? Who cares? You learn that lesson and you move forward. If you guys go back to my Facebook from when I started back in 2011, you'd probably laugh. Like, I'd actually recommend, like, that would be what not to do.
The only person that gets in your way is you.
Yeah, and like Liz said, the only person that ever gets in your way is you. You have to show up every single day, whether you want to or not, and make sure that you are doing actions that lead to success, which are the 3 vital behaviors. And the way you get more successful is by trial and error, by failing forward, by asking and inviting more people, by following up with more people. Again, they said while we were there, like, sometimes it takes 7, 8, 10 conversations back and forth with somebody in order to hear a yes. Sometimes you send a message and follow up with people, like, they see your message and they don't respond. Sometimes it takes 5, 6, 7 times of checking in with somebody to even get them to respond, because how many times do you check your phone when you're in the grocery store line and you don't have time to respond back? How many times do you look at your phone when you're at a stoplight? And you definitely don't have time to respond back. All of those instances. And another really good thing for me to tie in here that was shared with me from a gal that helps me out, and she's an outsider, so somebody that's not a Beachbody coach. She said, most of the time people are not on social media as much as we are, right? Like, think about that. Most of the time when you're trying to friend request somebody or you send somebody a private message, they don't even know, like, where to always check their messages, or maybe they don't know to respond back right away. Like, we know it because it's habit, because we work our business on there, but nobody else knows it. And how many times, like, when we want to go back and follow up with somebody and we're like, oh my gosh, am I stalking them? Do you think that they're thinking about that? No. Every single time I've gone back to message somebody and I say, like, hey, I totally don't want to be harassing you. Just let me know either way if you're interested, because I don't want to be Facebook stalking you. And then I'll say, like, LOL. So I try to keep it lighthearted. Every single time they message back, it always says, you would never, ever be stalking me. I'm so glad that you reached out to me. You know, I'm really interested. I just had a crazy weekend. Or sometimes they'll say like, life got in the way, I can't do it right now, but at least they respond back. So just be disciplined, show up every day and be disciplined on that Power of 3 document or a to-do list. Whatever it is, be consistent every single day and show up. So then we go into the other thing that I really took away was the challenge groups. So I posted that. And
That's good. Go back to this.
what one?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Liz let me highlight this. So the worst story ever told is the one that is not told. So how do people know your story if you don't share it? How do people know what you have going on in your life if you're not sharing that on Facebook? If you're not living your journey out loud and being vulnerable, how do people know that you're not perfect? Nobody can relate to perfection. Nobody. They relate during struggle. They relate when you get vulnerable. So if you never post your bad days, I mean, we all kind of do that, I think, at some point in time. But when you don't post your bad days, you look like you're perfect from the Facebook world.
People want those bad days.
And people want to see that you struggle. So make sure you share that on a regular basis. Now, don't get out there and be some Debbie Downer on your Facebook page and, you know, be so depressed, but share your struggles and how you're relatable and what you're doing about it. That is where you're going to connect with people. So make sure that you practice that story over and over and over again and write down what each of your stories are. You know, always have those in your back pocket based upon who you're talking to. So they said most people don't tell stories because they don't know how to tell them. And the reason why so many top coaches are top coaches is because they share stories. They've practiced and practiced and practiced. And at the end of the day, they're still doing the same things we are. They just share more stories. They talk to more people. So just kind of like I talked about, craft your story, create a 1-minute video, share with your upline. They did a fun thing. You can post it and do my BB story. That's totally up to you.
Send it privately to you.
Yeah, or send it to me. That would be awesome too. So let's see, I'm trying to snip through. I posted more. Okay, we are gonna go up. Well, maybe those are all. So then the other things that we talked about too were the challenge groups. So the Allie Upham had done an amazing challenge group training, and she talked about, will you find that in there, the when, the found. So there were 3 F's, and she
I know
talks.
how you feel. This is what I found.
No, there's one in the middle.
Feel, felt, found.
Oh, right.
Know how
Okay.
you feel. This,
So
that
it's
is how I felt. This is
feel,
what I found.
felt, and found. There's 3 of them, 3 F's: feel, felt, and found. So when you're talking to somebody and they give you an objection, right? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And what I found was XYZ. So it could be, maybe there's a cost objection, money's tight, they can't afford it. So you can say, I totally know how you feel. I felt the same way. Money was super tight for us. But what I found was I was able to cut back on my Starbucks. I was able to put money aside, and I was able to purchase that challenge pack. And that challenge pack has helped me transform my health and has given me more energy, and I feel absolutely amazing. And I would love to help you do the same. And she also said, now I don't have this experience, but she had said she loves Dave Ramsey. And she added that piece in and said, you know, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, and I would love to even help you sit down and figure out your finances and how we can, you know, make this work. It's going to take some sacrifice, but where there's a
Well, there's a way.
no, where there's a want, there's a how to, a want to, there's a how to. Whenever there's a want to, what I have found is where there's a want to, there's always a how to. And I would love to help you figure out how to make this work if you really want to make this work. And I was like, oh, that's genius, because it's all the verbiage, right? Like we all get stuck on these objections. But when it comes down to it, she's sympathizing. She's understanding and putting herself in her shoes or his shoes. She's there. She's getting vulnerable with her. She's supporting her and encouraging and motivating her. And
she's not like challenge pack, point.
Yeah, she's not just going after the sale. And it really truly comes across when she's working with the person that with her empathy and with her caring and genuineness, that no matter if that person decides to buy it and make it work, they're eventually going to join her because she has put herself in that person's shoes. She has shared her success and she is supporting her no matter what. So she has planted that seed with that person. So those were kind of like the biggest aha moments for myself. And in coming out of it, one of the stories we heard, Melanie Nitro did a big training, the top coach did a big training on Thursday that we went to, and one of the coaches went into September last year as a diamond coach. She finished September as a 6-star diamond coach. Okay, like mind-blowing, right? How did she do it? Team Cup. That's what I want to talk to you about. So don't ever think your goals are too big. It was all about strategy. And you guys, I've done a Team Cup since the very first time they came out. And actually, the first time they came out, our team was in the top 10 for the Team Cup. And it was amazing. And the way they work is there's a group of 5. Only one diamond can be on. Even if you're lifetime diamond and have lost it, you can't be on another team with another diamond. So a diamond or a star diamond can put on and host a team with anybody that's not diamond. You can have anybody host a team. So if you're just a coach or you're an emerald coach, you can host a team too. So the whole idea is that you 5 work super, super close together during the month of August. So Team Cup is August 1st through the 31st. And you want to work with personally sponsored coaches and help them crush goals. Like, push the goals a little heavier, a little harder for the month. Do things that are uncomfortable because it's a push month. Do things that are going to get you out of your comfort zone, that you can team pair up with these group of 5 that have like-minded goals. So, like I set out expectations of Success Club 10. Like that's a push for people. And if people get to Success Club 10, they're going to naturally keep pushing. And at least one rank advancement. So if they're a coach, get to Emerald. If they're Emerald, get to Ruby. If they're Ruby, get to Diamond. If they're Diamond, push for Star Diamond. But if you are a newer coach, say you're, a really strong emerald and you're like, oh, I want to get to diamond, and you have a couple builders, or maybe your husband is there, your spouse, and you have one other builder, grab those people and help them get to emerald and keep adding more people, because then you're going to get to diamond and you're going to reach your goal and you're going to help them reach their goal. And as a newer coach, getting to emerald and hitting Success Club 10 or even 5, that's awesome. That pays for their Shakeology, gets them free customer leads. So the way this gal got from diamond to 6-star is they were all pushing super hard, and she was not even just doing like once a week calls. They were chatting a couple times a week, and then all the time through text message. And you think like this is something that you are choosing to kind of compete and to go that extra mile, to push that extra step and to challenge yourself based upon your goals. Now, if you're like, yeah, no, that's okay. You know, maybe it's not for you, but you know what? You win some pretty cool prizes.
Lots of wear and
So
share.
yeah, lots of wear and share. They call it Beachbody swag, and it's something cool to share. You build amazing relationships, and you could probably come out with a pretty cool success partner at the end. Um, and so I challenge you. I challenge each of you guys to put on a team cup or to get on a team cup. So if you're interested in being on a team cup, then make a post in Team Rock Hard Bodies. And if you're leading a team, then make a post and share who you're leading. Tag them in it and make it fun. Like share, like let's make Team Rock Hard Bodies like a little fun competition for the month of August. Like I'm all about it. I'll play if you guys want to play. Like, you know, make it fun. At the end of the day, we are still impacting and changing lives. The fun in it is working together and finding more people that want what we have. Like, you know, and then you get to win prizes along the way. I think that's fantastic. And it's just a little fun reward, but you know what? It helps you get closer to your goals and it helps somebody have that extra support. And maybe you wouldn't have normally reached out to them because it wasn't a push month, you know? So I challenge you to get out of your comfort zone, to get on a team. It doesn't have to be your personally sponsored coaches. If you don't have a team yet, you could be on a team with somebody else, but maybe your goal is to get to Emerald or get to Success Club, and get to Success Club. And you get points for rank advancement for you, rank advancement for any of your personally sponsored coaches, and Success Club, hitting Success Club. So that's how you get team cup points. Does anybody have questions on that? There's also more information and details about that in the Breaking Coach News. Anybody? No questions? All right, so I'm gonna kind of pull some ideas. So Deanna, do you wanna share any top takeaways that you have from Summit? This was Deanna's first Summit. So besides our kicking our heels up and going dancing, what were your greatest memories? I know
It made
that
me realize. It made me realize I'm a lot older than I think, because it was. Woo, I'm still trying to catch up on my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say some of my key takeaways is since me and Justin kind of co-coach or do this together, I primarily focus on Success Club, or not Success Club, but the challenge groups, and he focuses on the coaches. And so I've actually taken more of an active role in the coaches because I don't really know what's going on with them a lot. And they really promoted recognition versus incentives, and really putting that belief system in people, and really, just really recognizing even the small accomplishments, which I find that I didn't do that much. So now I'm trying to be more proactive and letting those coaches know that, all the things they're doing is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. And even so, like recognition for like a newer coach would be like their first challenge pack sale, their
Right.
first customer, their first coach they sign up, even if it's their spouse. When you're a newer coach and you have, like you hear people calling them like your baby team, getting recognition even at that level is so motivational. There's so many different personalities out there and so many people. You'd be so surprised how many people are motivated by recognition. And I guarantee you, even if recognition isn't your number one motivator, and it's not mine, but you know what? It still warms my heart and makes me feel so good when I do get it, even though I'm not motivated by it. So it's just nice to be recognized and to be appreciated and highlighted, even if that's not maybe what your motivation is. And there's so many ways that you can do that, even, at the very beginning of coaching. That's a great piece. We have some big B over here
Justin, we missed you.
I missed you guys. I'm so mad I didn't come. It's so much fun.
Your wife held it down for the both of you.
I knew she would. I had all the faith in the world in her.
She's pretty fabulous. I'm kind of jealous.
I'm not gonna lie. I am I'm excited for next year, but I am so excited for the retreat just to like meet everybody really and hang out. Like I am so stoked for that. I seriously can't wait. That's like the biggest thing we've got going on all year for sure. Like, yay!
He just wants to meet Autumn.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that because it gets awkward.
She's worth it for sure. Bryn, what were your top takeaways?
Well, I had a ton, honestly, but two that have like really stuck out to me that I can't wait to share with my team is, I thought like going into Summit was, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to learn how to sell a challenge pack. They're going to tell me like the secret sauce on how to sell a challenge pack. And there isn't one. The secret sauce, honestly, is truly caring about people and just wanting to really help them. And it's not that I didn't care before or that I didn't it's just, it stuck out to me that it's not about selling. It's not about making that sale or necessarily getting the Success Club points. It's about truly wanting to help people and make a difference in their lives and showing them what their potential is, honestly. So that was like, oh my gosh, not that I didn't know it, but it just, it was crazy that they never talked about selling a challenge pack. They showed you how to run a challenge group, but not necessarily talking about challenge packs. So that was like that was very impactful to me. And the second one was during the Melanie Mitro training, Katie Ersta, loved her, like absolutely loved her. And her presentation was basically just, she referred to race car driving. And I was telling my husband this, like we were riding in the car the other day and I was like, this is awesome because it's something that he can share with his team and implement into his job also. But she referenced race car driving and keeping your hands at the 10 and the 2 and looking straight ahead and keeping, scanning the sides, but looking straight ahead and keeping your vision in front of you and not worrying about whatever distraction is going on around you. Don't worry about what your, other team members are doing. Don't, who cares about if they're rank advancing before you or if they have 20 Success Club points and you only have 4. Like, none of that matters. It's what you're doing in your business at your speed. That really stuck out to me a lot. And a quote that she said was, the only way to fall in love with this business is to truly work your business. So show up every single day and do what you want to do, but that's the only way that you're going to move forward is if you show up every day and work your business and treat it like a business. So that was two things that stuck out for me anyways.
That was awesome. Like you totally summed that up. They like perfectly. We were just talking about how we have chills over here. It totally and actually I talked to Katie in the back. I was standing right next to her before we went up on stage, and she said she would be more than happy to do a team call for us on that. So I'll figure that out. But, that was so relatable. She's like, I'm going to talk about something that I know nothing about, and that was race car driving. And it was so true. Like you see all those people or the top coaches doing all these things, and but they've been working their business and showing up every single day for just longer than you. That's it. That's the only difference. And, when you talked about at the beginning, your first takeaway of how to sell a challenge pack, I think we had lots of coaches going into Summit, like looking for that secret sauce of like, what's Melanie Mitro doing, or what's so-and-so doing, or what's so-and-so doing. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're doing the same things that we are, like there is no secret sauce. Like they tweak things because they have failed over and over and over again, and they find what works for them. And you know what? Even in talking to Melanie, she said she still tweaks things after every single time she runs a group because she wants to keep it current and she wants to keep it fresh. And do you want to know who gets bored first? You and me. When we're running a group, we are the ones that get bored first. So make sure you are having fun with the group. You know, if you run challenge groups over and over and over again and you're running them and not participating in them, you're going to get bored real fast. Like, oh my gosh, I got to do another challenge group. Like, make it fun. Put some flair in it, you know, and be creative, because the times that you're creative, that is when you're genuine. That is when you're wholeheartedly in that group. And that is when usually your group is going to have great success and you're going to get great traction in it because you're in there. You're in the trenches with them and you're having that same struggle or success with your group. So keep it fun and know that there is no secret sauce. It's you building relationships and truly sharing and being proof the product works, being a product of the product, no matter if you're at the beginning of your journey or in the middle of your journey. Share, 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 and get vulnerable. But you said it perfectly. Awesome job, Bryn. All right, Roxanne, you're next. We got to unmute you. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Okay. What were your top takeaways? Okay.
There were so many that it's tough to sum it up, but you know, a few of them that I wanted to hit on were Melanie Mitro. One of the things that she said was kind of went back to talking about consistency. A lot of people were hitting on consistency, but when she was talking about keep pumping the well, that you don't really know what's under the surface. That was a big one for me, you know, thinking, because I'll be honest, I had several conversations going before Summit and not necessarily doing a whole lot of new inviting. And then that thought of there could be a lot of people just about ready to break through and you go silent and you lose them.
Yeah.
So that was just that really hit home for me. I thought that was really a good one. You got to keep pumping that well because you don't know what's right under the surface.
Totally.
And then the one other one I'll hit on was Darren O'Lean talking about Shakeology. I'm trying to find the part in my notes, but talking about really getting to know the product, elevating your product knowledge of the elements in the Shakeology. Because, you know, and I'll be honest, being able to talk about it is sometimes difficult and, you know, studying all the paperwork. But I thought what was interesting was he mentioned turning that into personal development and spending like 5 minutes a day learning about it. And then possibly taking that and sharing that with your group or on Facebook about one aspect, one ingredient in there and what it does. So those were a couple key ones, but I mean, I have a whole notebook still full and I'm trying to still digest it all. So it was such a great time.
Well, and remember too that, I mean, that's really true on Shakeology because that is our biggest game changer, right? There's no wrong fitness program. There's no wrong way to work out. Well, let me back that up. There is a wrong way to work out, but there's not a bad workout, right? Like if you go to the gym, if you go running, there's
Did you do Jesse's boot camp?
Watch out. Don't come stay the week at my house unless you want to do boot camp. So there's no wrong fitness, right? But there is bad nutrition. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand that, you know, like I love sweets. I love nachos. You know, thank you. I feel like I'm an in nacho. But it's definitely like not only sharing what Shakeology's done for you, but knowing what is in Shakeology. That's like I watched every single video in the online office about Shakeology, and I went through just Shakeology.com and I just read through and read, and you can read through amazing testimonies on Shakeology.com, and those are great pocket stories again to be able to share because you're going to talk to people that have high cholesterol. You're going to talk to people that have high blood pressure or that are diabetic. And how cool would that be to have a little like, oh, hey, you know, one of my friends, a fellow Beachbody coach that maybe you don't really know that well, or maybe you don't know at all, but they're on our big Beachbody team. You know, one of my fellow coaches was able to go off of her blood pressure medicine because she was drinking Shakeology. And after 3 months, she, you know, was able to stop taking medicine. Like, how amazing would that be if we could do that for you? Wouldn't that be like a short, quick, easy testimony? Or you add in like, hey, you know, my friend who's a fellow Beachbody coach, she's a mom of 3 kids, was on blood pressure medicine, and you share something that's even more relatable to that person you're talking to. You know, those are key elements to success. And again, it's having more stories in that story bank to share. It doesn't have to be a lot, but know about Shakeology. Use your 10 to 15 minutes a day of personal development and spend that researching it. You know, Shay Stanford does a really good, she did an awesome national wake-up call on Shakeology. You know, I would, you know, challenge you to go back and listen to it, because she talks about the ingredients and she talks about the benefits and the difference between that and other things on the market. And I even posted on the team page, she did a thing against, I think, Herbalife and Shakeology. It was
Oh my God.
disgusting.
Ugh. I
Disgusting.
tried Herbalife
And
and everything else out there.
it was not good. And that's on the team page. I think you could go back and look at the pictures maybe to see, because the picture was nasty. But it's true. Learning about Shakeology and about the products is huge. And even going through maybe like the top workout programs and in the video online office, watching the videos for 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, PiYo, Insanity Max 30. And just so you kind of have a really rough idea of what that workout looks like, you know, so when you're talking to somebody.
And it's not even knowing, it's about drinking it. And that's one thing that I caught from Summit is just really having the products and testing them out. And I've had the boosts, full boosts. I've done all 3 boosts 2 days in a row now. And I completely have seen a difference. Like the digestive boost, TMI, but it's like amazing. And I can go back and tell people that I've had it and it's amazing because I tried it. I ordered a full stock of it. It's going to be at the house. And it's just like falling in love and having that belief in the product. Because if you say, yeah, Shakeology has this, this, and this, but you're not drinking it, it's not going to shine through. And if you believe in the 21 Day Fix and you're not doing the workouts, it's not going to shine through. And that is one thing that I really picked up on is that's our vital behaviors. So
What were your other top takeaway?
just sharing your story, and no matter how vulnerable it is, to share it in like previews and not share it all at once, because you want to continue to like hook people, like show them a snapshot of your story, and you have to build an audience to where they'll read a very long vulnerable post. But if you're showing snapshots, you're getting different markets and you're reaching and becoming vulnerable to different people. And that is one of my biggest weaknesses from the gate, is putting myself out there. But every single time that I do, it's incredible. People don't want to see a perfect person. The top coach was a hot mess because they want to be able to relate with moms or single moms or stepmoms or people that are struggling with weight loss, and they don't want perfect people to follow. They want real people who have issues like binge eating and ice cream and nachos and peer pressure.
And so, and like she was saying, like when you're first coaching, you like haven't earned the Facebook right to make this big, huge, long, vulnerable book post.
I
like,
still haven't after a year.
Keep your posts short and sweet. Like she said, share snippets because people aren't going to read it. when you can make small snippets and add a picture of you, put yourself in your post, but have it be small, short, and relatable, they're going to attach to it and relate to it, and they're going to read it. Whereas they might go through and like it if it's a book and read like the first 2 paragraphs and be like, oh gosh, I'm over this.
Or they like the picture.
Yeah, but
And
they're
they'll
not
like it.
going to actually read and get the value out of it. And then you're like, well, I just went through and I posted all of this. Well, now what do I post? When you post in snippets, it gives you more to talk about and to, you know, fuel off of. So, you know, create that story in little bits, create your journey, engage in questions when you make a post. Like, hey, have you ever struggled with binge eating? You know, the last year, you know, I've really had a problem with, you know, after dinner getting the munchies and staying up really late, eating XYZ. Does anybody else struggle with this? Like, how many people do you think would click like and be like, hello, pick me? You know, like, that's short to the point, and it could be you with your plate of munchies. Like, you're caught, you're busted. But you're engaging in a question. So you're asking people to, you know, like click like or post me in the comments below, because they're taking an action. And you know what? When you think about, you know, like we have that document, keeping invites simple. And when you think about, if I can post and put myself out there, my goal is to get as many likes and comments as possible. So I know the more vulnerable I get, the more I'm active and posting, the more I put myself out there, the more I add pictures of me and have a story bank of pictures. Like I can go through my phone and post something at any point in time because I take pictures at all the time. And I don't post those pictures all the time because in a moment's notice, when I'm like, shoot, I'm heading into a doctor's appointment and I haven't made a post for a couple hours, like I can go through and find something on here, right? And so then I'm going to
I gotta
make my post
another point.
and be relatable, but I'm not stressed out about it. So the more I can focus on trying to get as many likes and comments as possible and keep improving that, I can use that keeping invites simple document and go back, and those can be people that are my invites, are my conversations. And so you can fill out your power of 3 or make it a power of 5 based upon the people that are liking and commenting on your posts. And the more vulnerable you get, the more opportunity for new people. The more new friends you add to Facebook, again, the power of 3, the more opportunity you have to get those new people liking, commenting, relating to your posts. So think of it that way. Like the more vulnerable, the more uncomfortable I get in sharing, the more opportunity I have for new people to invite because they're watching you. They are liking and commenting because they're relating to you. So think about it that way. That's a great way to find people that want to be a part of your community. That's it. That's all I got. What were you going to say?
And there's kids. Justin, where are you? Okay, my point to you is to do more spooning. Shailene Johnson said it. Bow chicka bow
I
wow.
heard that.
That
I
is
was
how
like-
you're going to be successful, ladies and gentlemen.
I was like, I knew I like Shailene, but man, I just like her so much more now. I knew she was smart. She's so bright.
So for those of you that are like, what are they talking about? They'll be creating the podcast of Shailene Johnson's talk. It was all about relationships with your significant other and the power of it being your business and not my business, and the importance of bringing your spouse or your significant other and making them valuable and feel appreciated. And
Spooning.
even talking about, another thing that I took away is from Simon Sinek. He talked about, like, when you're talking to somebody and you have your phone in your hand, do you think they think that you're only focused on them? Like, when your kids are talking to you or when your husband's talking to you and you're like, oh, hold on a second, like you're making a post, they're like, forget it, I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, put your phone away. I've done it. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm like, oh shoot, like I lost that one.
Just because it's upside down on the table doesn't
make it
mean
okay.
that it's okay.
So make sure, like, out of sight, out of mind. He talked about like putting it in your back pocket where you can't see it, and how much of a distraction that is. So, anyways, back to Shalene though. They're going to be posting that, but she brought forward, and she comes out and she's like, the key to relationships is having more sex, and we're like, what? And the guys are like standing ovation in the
They're
room.
like, woo!
Yeah. And but it was awesome. It was just talking about the power of respecting your significant other. And you know, when I read her push book and went through her success program, she talked about, like, when you have a team call, like say your work hours are in the morning or during the day, and when you have a team call like this, giving your spouse that, you know, respect of saying, like, you know, hey hon, I have a team call tonight from 5:30 to 6:30, so I'm going to have to go hide, you know, and listen to that. They know in their mind that you're not going to be present for that hour. Whereas if you're like, oh, if it's 5:25, I'm out for an hour, they're like, what? Like, where are you going? Oh, I have a team call. Well, that's nice, you know. So be respectful of your significant other. And when I learned that and I shared that and I started implementing that with Troy, it was like totally no big deal. Like, you know, that's fine, I got the kids, you know. And then I wasn't like, hurry up and finish talking, like finish the call, because I knew that he knew what I was doing. So give your spouse that respect, especially as you're building your business, because we tend to love what we do and feel like we could be working all the time, you know, because we're passionate about it. So be respectful of your business hours, have that to-do list, work from your to-do list. And, you know, it's your business. It's not just my business. It's your business. It's your and your significant others. And when you're talking about your business to them, don't talk about things that excite you. Talk about things that they would be interested in, because they don't have any excitement in 21 Day Fix going on sale. They're like, woohoo, nice. So think about those things when you're conversating. But those were kind of our big takeaways from Summit. They will recap all of those audios, and usually last year it took about 2 months to get out. But I challenge you to put together a team cup, you know, especially for that push into August. August is always kind of a little bit of a sluggish month because people are transitioning, vacations, getting geared up, going back to school. So if you have that encouragement and that group of people that you can focus and share invites and follow-ups and be accountable to, it makes it more fun, and it's going to pull you through those peaks and valleys. And you could do even like a private Facebook page together and share all those. You could do a message thread, whatever works for you. Do Zoom chats regularly. Be in constant contact with these people that you're on a team with, and make it fun. So post on Team Rock Hard Bodies if you're hosting a team, who's on your team, what your team name is, and we can kind of make something fun of it and have like some little fun, friendly competition going on, if you guys want to do that. Last but not least, we extended the requirements, I guess, for the leadership retreat to August 5th. So I think we have 4 spots left, and there's a lot of people like so close. So you guys, if that is you, push hard, pedal to the metal, because I want you there. I want you to be there. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. Doug Moss, the Western Regional Director, is coming out Friday night. We might have one special guest join him. I haven't heard confirmation yet. And then Mike Ryan, one of the founding coaches in Beachbody, incredibly knowledgeable.
Awesome.
Liz had the opportunity to meet him and to hear him talk a little bit while we were at Summit. And he's amazing. Him and his wife are wonderful. And he's going to come over to our retreat as well. And then Saturday, we have Autumn all to ourselves, front and center. And then Sunday, we have an incredible ropes course to go through as a team. So it's just going to be fun, team building, learning, masterminding. So do not take your foot off the pedal. You have till August 5th. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. But nonetheless, get on a team cup. Push and drive for the month of August. And just to have that extra accountability and support to reach your goals. So do you guys have any questions? Hi, Sarah. Any questions at all? None? Alrighty. So thank you so much, you guys, for showing up. And I'll post the recording up. And have a wonderful evening. We'll meet back in 2 weeks. All right. Take care.